Good morning, everyone. So I thought I'd come out here and just take a look at these outdoor plants. We've had a lot of rain and not really a lot of heat yet, strangely. But I wanted you to see just how nice these look. Now, I did bring my kalanchoe outside. This poor thing. Probably a little burned, probably a little confused. We'll see what it's going to do. I really like how everything's waking up. Over the winter, I was really kind of in despair that some of these things would not have survived, and they look actually really beautiful and they're opening up. I'm a really big fan of coleus, but this is the first year I've had any coleus. And I'm really surprised that I haven't done this before. I just really like them. And then I've mixed them in with sweet potato vines. I really like how some of the sweet potato vines, I get like full sun out here for most of the day. And so you see this one's a little stressed. It's got some really gorgeous, it might even be a little bit burned, but it's really beautiful. I bought polka dot plants, and so I've potted them out here to see what they'll do. In the house, they grew, and then they had flowers, and the flowers dropped everywhere, and they were very messy. So I didn't really like them in the house, but I thought I'd bring them out here and see what they do. They're really pretty plants, just very interesting. So there's another pot waking up and looking kind of nice. I really thought I was going to lose some of those, and I'm really pleased at the difference. Now this pot was doing well to begin with. It's all packed in there. I think they protected each other from the winter, and some of these big ones up top are just gorgeous. They may eventually flower, and then being monocarpic, I'll lose them, and they'll make space for the new babies. This is one of my pots of soft succulents. It looks like they're not real happy with the amount of rain we've been getting. I see at least one that's kind of lost all its leaves, so it's soaking up way too much water. But if it survives, then we'll have some nice, pretty annual succulents is what I like to call them. This pot, I have some portulaca and then some plants that I got from Mountain Crest Gardens. The one in the middle is called a symponium or something like that. And it's an aeonium and sempervivum mix. It's a hybrid, and they don't guarantee that it's hardy. But I'm going to take a chance and put it out here with these. I love the pink one. That's doing really nice. And then this was a mix of different scents. And we'll see. And then I put in the pot some portulaca that haven't bloomed yet. This is another pot I have of that I've had for a while, and they did well over winter, and they're just so perky and pretty for summer. I just love this color. We're not summer yet, but it's spring. Now they may have some distress when summer comes because of the heat and the sun that we get, but so beautiful. And then I potted up a pot of portulaca. I put them all together. We have a lot of spent blooms right now, but later when we have some nice blooms, I'll come out and see what they're doing. I repotted these here, and they look really nice. I put some different scents in this pot. This one mound is doing really great. In fact, it's starting to fall over the side. I'll try to get a shot of that so we can see just what that's doing. And hopefully we'll build up the side eventually and it'll all look uniform, but it doesn't now, and that's okay. This pot is all of the repotted plants when I redid the barrel. I didn't want to reuse the plants, but I didn't want to get rid of them, so I put them in here. And I packed them in, but I think they're doing well. They look nice. Okay. So let's see. I can get the shot of that from this side. And then we have this plant here. What I had noticed is that it looked like it might have had bugs. So I sprayed it. And then I sprayed a lot of my plants with insecticidal soap, the really stinky one. For a couple of reasons, and hopefully that'll do better. The central mama plant in the middle, I think that I'll lose that eventually. So I'm really, really happy at how many baby plants she threw out, and hopefully it won't be much of a loss, and they'll fill in that little barrel. Okay. Wow, the colors on these. I think this is a type of chick charm. I'll try to find the name, but I don't always keep track of the names out here. And my monstrose Sempervivum oddity, I believe that one's called. But yeah, so gorgeous. This particular barrel is behind the trash cans, and it tends to get a little bit of shade during certain parts of the day. I don't think that's a bad thing. Nothing else really gets shade, but it gives it, a little bit of protection. Okay, this is another pot of Sempervivums. One of the things that I really love about this plant is you'll see that they're all the same species or genera, and they're also very different. Sometimes the differences are subtle, sometimes they're very obvious. That's what I really love about this plant type. So here's some more, all huddled in the bowl. Still a little bit wet from the rain that we had. We had like outrageous downpours last night. Okay, so I'm going to bring you over to the barrel. Now, I mentioned that I sprayed some of the plants with the stinky insecticidal soap. And one of the reasons is this pot, I think the squirrels think it's theirs. I had some issues where the squirrels were digging up the portulaca and actually kicking them out of the pot. I can see over here where this one's been chewed. Like, no person would have done this. This is actually obviously like animal damage. And I really do think it's the squirrel. Some of my other sedums had been nipped a bit, and I think we can see that down here, how all the tops of each one of these have been nipped off. I try to always keep water out for these squirrels, in the hopes that they don't do this kind of damage. One of the things I read is that because sedums, I think that's a fungus. Sorry, I touched a fungus. Oh, gross. But because succulents hold water in their leaves, some of when we have droughts and we have dry spells, and we have had those off and on. Like, our April was really dry, and our May right now is very wet. So there had been times when we probably didn't have the amount of water that the squirrels would have liked, and I think that they take that out on the plants by like eating them. One of the things I want to show you is let's see. These are out front, and you see how nice and compact they are. This is a good example of the good growth. Now, I had planted some over here on the side of the house. They get really bright morning light. You might be seeing my shadow. These get really bright morning light, but then when the afternoon hits, it disappears. Like, they're in shade for the rest of the day. What I'm finding is that the sedum in here really like that. And this sedum is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to try to get you a shot without... Now they're wet. Like I said, we had a lot of rain. We had thunderstorms last night that like shook the house. But yeah, the sedums appear to like it. My vision was to have like a sea of sedum and then a few little sempervivums. Now, some of the sempervivums didn't make it. I had one that did, and then I put some from the barrel in here. Okay, look. Okay. I thought that was snapped off. It's not. But this looks a little chewed as well. Like, those darn squirrels. I'm really not happy with that. But when I was talking about the growth, one of the things you'll see here is they're very big and their leaves are very stretched looking. These are some of the species I have out front that are nice and compact. But this is what happens when they don't get enough light. It was an experiment to put them out here, and I don't think it was wrong. But I can absolutely see the difference because they're stretching for light. They want more than they're getting. And so they're creating these odd shapes. And so what I did here was I'm going to leave them. Those that live will live. Those that don't won't. It's okay. That's part of having an outdoor garden and having this type of experiment. I did put some portulaca out here. One of the things I am going to have to do, now I put down, the way I built this bed was I put down paper bags and then I put reconstituted coco coir on top of it. So they had been bricks and then I turned them into, soil and I put it down. This is really a haven for weeds of all kinds. Like, I got trees now. But so I really do have to keep up on my weeding. In a way that the rocks out front are a little less conducive to weeds. This is pretty conducive to weeds. So I just really need to be careful with that. Also, because it wasn't totally level, there's deep spots in here that I've just left the leaves in. But anything that was back here died. This is a new one, new portulaca, because I had so much of it. I liked it, and I just kind of went a little crazy. I managed to move this pot over here. This is an I don't know pot. We've got some of the lime zinger in here. We got, a little sempervivum in the back, and I don't know what else. And I don't know, I might over time take it somewhere else, or I'll leave it there. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. That's an I don't know pot. So I'm just going to go back through and really get a good look at this again. So pretty. And I have a decoration in here, which is a 3D printed dragon, which I bought that dragon to be a fidget toy, but it's sharp. And that's the last thing you want for a fidget toy when you're not paying attention, is to grab something sharp. So I put it out here. It's cute. One of the things I really like about the garden is staging different types of things. So I've got, wood, I've got rocks. You can really just stage anything that's outdoors, anything that's not expensive. You do have to keep in mind that when you put stuff out here, you do have the possibility of it being stolen. But I did buy things that were meant to be out here. Things that make me happy, things that are just pretty and cute. And then around the barrel, I've got the different sedums. I probably said this before, but I like the look of sedums gone wild. Like, it looks unintentional, but I did this on purpose. Every time a piece of it broke off, I threw it out here, hoping it would root and grow, and it has. And now it looks like we might get flowers here. So that's really pretty. Now it does make it difficult to weed, because weeds like to grow up through it, but let's get another look at this. These are so pretty. already grown babies. So gorgeous. And then we can get a look at this guy. Okay. And I don't know if you can see in the bucket, that tells you how much water we got last night. That is a lot of water. I actually shut the rain barrel off because I didn't want it to overflow, because we just got a heck of a lot of rain. When I was talking about decorations, so I bought this weird little octopus. The plan with that was to put it inside one of these containers and have plants grow around it. But if I did that, it would kind of hide the tentacles. So I kind of just left him sitting there. But what it actually is a coaster holder. And then it came with these little coasters. So it gives me a little bit of, decoration and staging of some neat little things. Now, I did step on one of the anemone shells and broke it, but they're just really here to look different and look pretty. Okay, so let's go back through. The sun's coming out, and these guys look incredible. I got my little solar bird in the background. And once again, the coleus. I'm really pleased with these. I hope they hold up in the heat of our summers, which can be really hot and really dry. I'm just going to need to make sure that I water them one time. Yeah, and this pretty pink thing. Look at that. So the pink foliage, it looks a little dilapidated. I got a green one in the midst, and most of these are purple. And then in the back, I've got, these are chick charms. These are the gold nugget. They don't look really gold right now, but they survive. They will in the future. And then back here in this pot, there's more what I call, annuals, succulent annuals. Some of them are doing fabulous. This should be really good soil for them, but like I said, we got a lot of rain, and succulents aren't always really happy with as much rain, with rain in the spring. So let's see. See, this one is kind of dropping leaves. It's got too much water in there. Maybe those leaves will root. I don't know. And I got my little fairy lady in the back. This thing had flowers at one point. I think that's starting to wane.
Lazy sun, afternoon breeze, tiny worlds beneath the trees, crackstone path, barefoot steps, drifting slow with no regrets. Sit on smiles and golden light, little stars so soft, so bright. Semper Vivum holds her ground, whispers bloom without a sound. Let the day just fade away in my garden where I stay. No more noise, no more run, just the stillness and the sun. Leaves like poems on the stone, rooted deep, I'm not alone. Humble hues and gentle rose, stories only silence knows. Petals reach but never plead, teaching me how not to need. Water comes that goes again, but they remain through wind and rain. They don't rush and they don't strive, just content to be alive. Let the day just fade away in my garden where I stay. No more noise, no more run, just the stillness and the sun. Leaves like poems on the stone, rooted deep, I'm not alone. let it be. Succulents take care of me. Stone and stem and sky above, teaching peace and quiet love.